my name is Arlene Herson. The name of the show is Getting to Know You, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Tonight, we're going to get to know a man who has the perfect recipe to succeed in show business. Take a velvet voice, add a beautiful smile, mix with a warm and loving personality, shake with best-selling records, a successful television show, movies, and sold-out concert performances across the country, and you have the ingredients for the ultimate entertainer. Sprinkled with the fact that he's also one of the nicest people you will ever meet. He is Perry Como, and let's get to know him right after these messages, so please stay right there.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a million-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
We're back. We're with my very special guest, Perry Como. We're here in his dressing room at Resorts International in Atlantic City. And thank you for taking the time. I know you're so busy here to be on the show.
Glad to be here, Arlene.
Okay, well, you have been in show business for 50 years. Long time, more than 50.
53.
53, okay, a long time. You're a very public person, yet you're also a very private person. Has it been difficult to keep your life private?
Not really. I guess I have ticked off a few of the writers, although my association with them has been very, very good. But you know, they'd like to know a lot of things I don't think are important to a career, you know. And I've kind of kept them separate, you know.
Yeah.
And I like it that way. Of course, we did have a couple of scares with the youngsters, you know.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, and when that happens, of course, now they're all grown, they can handle themselves. But they were 5 and 6 years old. So I just started that thing, and I said, no more pictures, and they understood, appreciated it.
Yeah, but you've been able to do it. A lot of people don't want the
Well,
people
a lot of people probably don't want to have done either. You know? No, they've been very nice about it. They, they said, well, that's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be. You know?
Okay, well, we want to know a little bit more about the private life. Not getting too personal, but you've been married to the same woman for over 50 years. 52. Mm-hmm. Okay, Roselle. Mm-hmm. Now, tell us a little bit about her.
Well, she's a great lady. In fact, I do a thing on the air about it. On stage about it. I tell them I'm going to reveal everything. She's been wonderful for me, and as I say, she's a great lady. We've had our fusses. You show me 2 married people who don't fuss with each other occasionally, and I'll show you 2 people who aren't married.
Okay, wow. Now that's a revelation. I can't imagine Perry Como fussing with anybody. Well. But is it true that years ago, when you went into show business, when you decided to make singing your career, you almost gave it up and went back to the barbershop, but it was Roselle, your wife, that encouraged you to take the chance to go ahead to give it a try?
Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, we were both concerned about our firstborn, Ronnie. And, of course, every time we take him to the doctor, he said, you don't worry about him, worry about yourself, running around like you're doing. I had every intention of going back home. Of course, with $50 a haircut, I could have I could have made the wrong decision.
You mean what they're charging today?
That's
okay.
right. Can you believe that? $50 a haircut.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. Anyway, but you know, actually, you were doing very well when you were a barber, but you work, because I want to talk a little bit about that to take you back to the barbershop. You work very hard. I mean, you make everything look easy, but you really work very hard. When you were 10 years old, you were getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You were going to the barbershop that you worked at after school. You were heating towels, sharpening razors, cleaning up. Then you'd go to school, come back, and work. We have, by the time you were 13, I think you had your own chair, 14 or 15, your own barbershop. We happen to have a picture of that barbershop. Okay, taken in 1925. Okay, Perry Como, you're the second from the left. I can't believe it. Now, is it true at the barbershop that you were, while you were cutting people's hair, that you were also, even in those days, singing?
No,
and
really.
entertaining them?
But it makes for a good copy. You know. No, I didn't. I used to sing a little. Sing in school, chorus thing, but I never really sang until 19 or so, 18, 19.
So all those things I read about you singing it to your customers, serves me right. I shouldn't believe everything that I read.
Right.
Okay, but I did read that you were earning $125 a week.
Well, I had my own shop, and I had two grown people working for me, and I wasn't any bigger or any smaller than I am now. I don't think I grew more than an inch. So I was the boss, yes. And you know, as a kid, if you make $120, you want to make $125. You know, very proud of the fact to bring all this money home. And in those days, it was a lot of money. You know, but I worked 14 hours a day, and I finally got a little ill. And my father, he sold a barbershop. I went down one day, and I wasn't the owner anymore.
Oh my goodness! Why did he do that?
Well, he was concerned about my working too much and trying to go to school and chasing my wife on the side.
You weren't married yet?
No.
So what?
No, hardly at 14.
Oh, it was 14 that he sold the barbershop.
14.
So what did you do then?
I went to work for another fellow. Worked as just kept my own chair. But I didn't have that responsibility. I didn't have to get there at 7 in the morning. Didn't have to close up at 10 at night. You know. And it worked out. It worked out fine.
Well, obviously it worked out fine, because here we are with Perry Como. Okay, but your first job singing was $28 a week.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. That was a lot of money. You're talking about 1932?
Well, yeah, $28 a week.
I remember it well because I was 4 years old.
Not quite when you started singing. All right, speaking about 4 years old, actually you have 13 grandchildren. Now, you have 3 children from your own marriage and 13 grandchildren. But when you were, you mentioned your son Ronnie being the oldest. When you were traveling, when you were earning your $28 a week, you were on the road with an infant. You had gotten married.
Yes.
That must have been very tough, going from town to town.
It was a big concern. I mean, you figure at 5, well, he was 5 months old when he started to travel with it. Of course, if you see him today, you'd know that it didn't affect him, because he's a big, strong kid. But it was tough. You know, we had a little car, and we put the bags in there and put a mattress on top and one of those zip things and stick him in there. And it was fun. Nothing romantic or bad about it, but we had a lot of fun doing it.
And I hear at times when you had to warm his baby bottle, sometimes you would have to unscrew the radiator cap to warm the bottle.
You came prepared, didn't you?
Okay, you seem to lead a charmed life. I mean, you've had lots of really good things happen to you. Now, 13 seems to be a lucky number. You are one of 13 children. I mentioned you have 13 grandchildren. You are the seventh.
I never thought of that.
Okay. Well, that
I
is...
put that in my book.
Okay.
Of course, with my kids, you never know. I may be 14. I've been away from home for about four weeks now.
Well, as of today, it's 13. We're sticking to it. But you are the 7th son of a 7th son. Now, in many countries, that is a very special status, that people believe people that are 7th son of 7 sons have magical powers. You seem to have led and are leading a magnificent life. Do you think there's any significance to that? You don't believe it?
I don't think so.
You don't?
I'll buy it, though, but I don't think so. I've been lucky all my life, so maybe there's something to it, yeah.
In the articles, when you say you've been lucky, I read in one of the articles that you said you've never known hardship. Is that true?
Not really, no. Oh, we've had a few traumatic things. I mean, of course, when you lose your parents, things kind of fall apart a little, but other than that, I don't remember. The kids have all been, thank God, they've been healthy, and I can't think of anything that I would say was really heartbreaking, you know.
How old were you when you lost your parents, when you mentioned, were you an adult
I was
at that time?
fairly young. Well, they've been gone. My dad went first, and I was probably, I think I was with Ted Weems then, so it had to be between 36 and 42. And she left, Mother, not long after. You know, the older people, they felt that way, you know. You take one away from the other, you might as well take both of them.
Yeah, true. So they never really saw your tremendous success.
Not really. My dad came to see me one day in Pittsburgh, and that was, I had just left Weems. And he was a Gigli man, Caruso, you know, when he knew I sang because I was making a living doing that, but he came to the Stanley Theater, which is my home, really, right near Pittsburgh. I put him in the front, of course, when I walked out. All my friends were there, and they're screaming and yelling and carrying on, and it scared the hell out of him. And he ran out of the theater. After the show, I'm looking for him, and I can't find him. He'd already gotten on a streetcar, and he'd gone home, see. But I was interested in what he was going to say, you know. After listening to these great singers he used to play, record records of. And then the recordings were all bad because they were to that little thing that, you know. And I says, well, what do you think, Pop? And he looked at me, he said, he was very quiet, a very relaxed, laid-back man, you know, with 13 kids running all over it didn't bother him. And he looked at me and he says, brava. In Italian, it means nice or good or whatever. And I couldn't believe, you know, his excitement.
That was it. Gee, I wonder where you get it from.
But he was a cutie. He was a great man. Yeah, he was a great man.
That's true. We have to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk some more. We're speaking with Perry Como. We're at Resorts International Hotel in Atlantic City. We'll be right back after these messages, so please don't go away.
My twin brother David was killed in a car accident in rural Wisconsin and was instantly brain dead. And our family got a phone call probably about an hour after it happened. We had talked about organ donation. Actually, my brother was the one that had brought it up. Knowing that those were his wishes, it wasn't scary. It wasn't a big deal. It just seemed like the right thing to do. So it was sort of like the most fitting tribute that, you know, his death, the final comment wasn't his death. It was that, you know, it was life. It was life affirming.
Someone once said, we all come into this world alone, and we leave the same way. But in between, we have the chance to connect and help each other, to find ways you can do something to connect with the people in your community, called the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
We're back. We're with my very special guest, Perry Como, and we're here in his dressing room. You were just sharing with us a little bit about your family and the fact that you have led a pretty good life and are leading a pretty good life. You know, not too much hardship, but however, there is an expression about being caught with your pants down. Okay, now it's even hard for me to say that. Perry Como was caught not only with his pants down, but with his pants off. Have you seen this picture?
That's pretty stupid, isn't it, for a grown man? I think yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I think it was I was having some clothes tried on. That's silly.
I kind of wonder how that happens in the newspaper. That's either the Daily News or the New York Post. I have to take a look and see what it is. But, however, I mean, I was astounded. Now, how did you feel about that?
Made a difference.
Didn't make any difference?
No, not really.
Okay,
There's a couple of friends of mine that use that a few times. But it's okay, no problem.
Do you have people try, we talked earlier about the private life, so do people kind of try and take pictures of you at times when you'd really not?
I'm not as private, as I used to be, because as I say, the kids are grown now. My kids can walk anywhere. Actually, I can walk anywhere. And we drove in here and they're talking about, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going to take a walk on the boardwalk. Well, we'll send 8 people. I said, no. Just forget it. All I'd have to do is put a hat on, and I can go anywhere. Now, whether it's the color of the hair or whatever, I can just walk anywhere I want. They said, well, you can't walk out there without security. I said, yes, I can. And I did.
I think that part of it is that today it's different from when you started out with the fan clubs and the screaming girls falling at your feet.
Well, we went through that. There was a period when Frank and whoever, but when they come to the studio, I'd say, please don't scream, And I'd say, you're going to interrupt the show, you can't hear what I'm saying. But when Frank would step out there, I know he'd call me once in a while and say, come over and do a couple of shows, I have a sore throat or whatever. And you walk out there and you feel like an idiot. I did anyway. I said, listen to what I got to tell you and then do whatever you like. And I say, well, they do it for him, they do it for so-and-so. Why can't we do it for you? I said, because you're not paying attention,
Yeah.
How can you scream and listen at the same time? So we kind of, on our shows, you very seldom hear that. And they were very nice about it, which, of course, I appreciated.
I kind of wonder also when you were doing live TV, your television specials now are spectacular. They come from all over the world. Your Christmas special, I love. It's very entertaining, very special. You also learn about the place that you are. But when you started in television, you were doing live television. Were there a lot of catastrophes that happened during that time because of maybe people screaming or?
No, but we'd kind of tell them before the show. Please don't do it. And they were very nice about it. I mean, the fan clubs would keep the other people quiet. They thought it was a thing to do, now, of course, now it's all hands. It's all well choreographed. You watch a concert, all you see are hands and some guy trying to sing a ballad, And you wonder what they're trying to do. Of course, I don't understand the video thing at all, those discs they make.
Okay, now that's different now. Television is very different. MTV,
yeah, that's
the music videos. You were asked to do a music video.
Well, I can't imagine me singing Sweet 16 and people doing this behind it, Everybody go out of their minds. I don't know what they're doing, Arlene. I really don't. My kids know. They're well aware of what's going on. But sometimes I feel like I'm not even in the business, really.
Because it's so different?
It is. I'll go completely different. Crabs falling out of trees and snakes crawling. God.
But you don't have to do it like that. You had a major hit just a very short time ago, one of my favorite songs, written by Jerry Herman from La Caja Fall, The Best of Times Are Now.
That probably could have been okay. Could
have been a music video.
But I don't think the guys would play it because, it doesn't have that thing going, that drum and they would probably play it on what we call the music of your life station today, which I think has caused a little resurgence in all singers like Stevie, Lawrence, and Tony Bennett, and Frank. Now, Frank made a disc. I've never seen it, but have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he made a music video, and it got a lot of play for a time.
For about 10 minutes. And they put him on the back burner. Now, I'd like to do one, a funny thing. Somebody sent me one that actually sent it to me about a year ago, that they use up in Canada. And they did a comedy thing on this clown with the gray hair, winds up on the floor singing. And the girls are in the back of him going, that, and he goes, and I thought that was funny.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know I think you should consider doing one. Maybe not that one, but we have to take a break and we'll come back again.
I'm trying to think of the station, SWTV or something, up in Canada.
I don't know.
And the producers sent me a tape of these. I hope you're not insulted. My name was funny.
Okay, we're going to take a break and then we'll talk to you more. We're speaking with Perry Como. We'll be right back after these messages, so please stay right there.
Help wanted. Immediate openings available for the most important jobs in America, helping the organizations that help children. Whatever you can do, in whatever time you have, you can make a difference. To learn how you can help in your community, reach us at this web address and number. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
Out! Out! There's no ways out! It's impossible!
Actually, Coach, it's not. See, Jimmy had to travel a distance of 90 feet. He reached an average speed of 15 miles per hour. The ball left 2 seconds later than Jimmy and had to go 1.5 times the distance.
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league
Thus
parent.
enabling it to reach the destination at a much quicker rate.
Did you factor in the wind speed?
It's a thin line between newborn and stillborn, full term and premature, between healthy and sick. If you're pregnant or think you are, getting prenatal care early is the most important step you can take. Don't put your baby's health on the line. Take care of yourself so you can take care of your baby. Find out now about getting prenatal care. Call 1-800-311-2229.
We're back with my very special guest, Perry Como. And the time is going very fast for me. You are so easygoing all the time, and I've been fortunate enough to be with you personally at dinner, and you always seem to be so relaxed. Now, I'm just kind of wondering, did Perry Como, have you ever worked with anybody that you don't like?
No.
Really?
Well, yes, really. No, because if I didn't think that they were any good for the show, I was just interested in the show. But, we'd have little fusses here and there, but never anything serious, We had a dresser on the show, a little Japanese girl, a delightful little monkey. And once in a while, I'd get a little angry that they would make her the brunt of a lot of jokes. She was running around. If there was too much showing, she'd put a little lace or something. They would tear it off, that kind of it. But that was just stupidity on their part. We weren't trying to be Charlie Goody Shoes. None of that. That's for something else. But we tried to keep our show that way. We knew that there were a lot of people, elderly people, and today, of course, you can walk out there without any clothes at all, which is fine. I like those kind of shows.
Oh.
But she would try to keep it very nice, I mean, I'm talking about 1950, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a no-no to have somebody walk out. But no, I understood. I mean, I tried to understand. A lady, if she has a great figure, a wonderful figure, I'll try to show it, on somebody else's show.
Okay. Okay. Have you...
But and I think that kept our show in the air. Because now it doesn't make any difference,
Right.
People are either more understanding or they're not paying as much attention.
Speaking about show, we hear some music in the background, and that's the band rehearsing for your show tonight. You haven't been in Atlantic City for 40 years. This is your first time back.
The last time I was here, I worked on the pier, and I had just left Weems. I was about 42, 43, and it was a lot of fun. We did 9 shows, I think, in 9 hours. You know, they do a show, empty out, bring a new group in. And we worked between the diving horse and whatever. Remember they had a horse?
I don't remember the steel pier. I wish that I did, as a matter of fact.
Right.
No, well, I didn't, but I didn't. But anyway, we're glad to have you back here, and especially to have you on my show again. You don't do many talk shows. Do you avoid them purposely?
I know most of the guys, Johnny Carson and Merv Griffin and the rest of them, they're all friends of mine, but I can't see myself walking into a studio with a record under my arm, my latest hit. Well, I would get sick. So what do I have to talk about, really? And they stay friends. They understand that. If you have a show or if you have a book that you're plugging or a new record, that would be embarrassing to me. The reason I'm here, I happen to like you and admire you, and we're not going to get at each other about some dumb thing that they might think that a viewer might enjoy hearing. So we're just sitting and talking. But you get on some of those shows, and of course they wouldn't do it to me because, they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So what would we talk about? My golf game? How interesting
but Perry Como was a very interesting and a very special man, and I'm really glad that you took the time to be on my show again.
It's a pleasure. You know that.
And I thank you very much. I hope that you have enjoyed getting to know Perry Como. I know that I certainly have, and that you'll join us again next week. Meantime, good night. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.